Now, as the final part of this developer wrap-up, let's bring together the ways to effectively make a web development against the ball. So if once again I remind you that the ball treats cloud storage exactly like a file system. So we have web templates here in the storage as they would be in the file system, and we have data JSONs in the storage as well, for instance the text content that we just created. So what if we simply enable syncing that stuff a bit more controlled way than that's just the staging? So let's use the web development tool of our choice. I have a long history of using JetBrains tools. They create excellent cross-platform IDEs. I mean for various tools, and a cross-platform as a tooling sense is quite valuable because, for instance, the WebStorm is available on Windows, Mac and Linux basically with the same user experience. So we can kind of support different web developers regardless of what their platform of choice is to do. So I'll check out an example project that I created in the GitHub. And I simply used our existing templates, piloting templates from the platform, because it's still under development to properly wrap in certain APIs. So I'm just giving the first really hands-on example of how we do it right now. So I'll pull off the ball developer examples Git, and then I let it download to our default location. And I'll have it open as well. So we have in the WebStorm something like web templates, admin templates, and categories and content, which is exactly the same that we had also on the out of the box when we created the group in the current dev version of the ball. So I go to the command prompt, go to that same directory, and then I check out the stuff that we actually have in the ball client tools tools content sync tool, and we have few commands we haven't used before. There is add sync folder, remove sync folder, and sync. So we use this add sync folder now against one of the connections that we have. I'm listing first all the connections in this workstation, and the tool is using my local user data in a user specific encryption, so it's secure file in my local data storage. That's why it lists both the demo connection and the Excel test in the same. They are independent connections to the same group, but I'll start using the demo connection more. Right now there is only staging set, but I'll introduce two new syncs in there. So I do add sync folder, and then my connection name will be demo connection. Sync name in this case will be catcon up. Sync type will be dev. Local full path will be categories and content. Remote folder I want a bit shorter, catcon, and sync direction will be up. That should do it. Then I do again the list connections just to see that it's set up. So here we have under demo connection we have up and dev catcon up. So let's try to run it as well. So I use the sync command, and it only wants demo connection, the connection name and the sync name, catcon up, and let's see what happens. It's getting the MD5 again as with staging. and it starts to upload them from that folder to the remote folder. And while it's uploading, I'll show it on the storage where it will appear. Let's put it in this kind of way so that we see when it's done, once it's done. Basically the ball puts them first. It has the device memberships listed separately, so it's uploading all of the parts that we did have their own device. The connections have their own device that's connecting to the group. So there is one device for the Office app. Second one is for our Xamarin Android part. How do I get? Then the third one will be Raspberry Pi in that list, and the fourth one will be where we had our first demo, and now it's uploading the categories and content in there. And once it's done, it will also upload it alongside here as a folder as with anything else as well. And it's this is the best example of the power of it calculating the MD5s. If I control and break this one now and rerun it, it will simply carry on from where it left off, because it's comparing the MD5s from both directories, and everything before that was exact match. So it's only going to upload the changed files and removed files. That's why it doesn't there is a lot of clutter in this template. It's our current working version, but I still wanted to use it as is to kind of show where we are and give the exact same look and feel for kind of demonstration purposes. It should be done soon. And then it does the final copy in the cloud in the ball side. I'm assuming it's doing it right now because it's looks alphabetically. It was kind of the end in the HTML, and it's taking a while for that final copy. Yes, it claims to have finished the copying. Let's see. It should be in here. Yes, devcat.con, which is exactly actually the same as the categories and content. So if I go back to our group here, and let's see. So this is kind of the official out of the box template. Let's simply try what happens if we replace this one with devcat.con. And surprisingly enough, it looks exactly the same template, except for one part actually missing. I forgot. There is one reference that it's not allowed to use in the account. That's why the navbar doesn't load up properly. I'll write it down in the actual blog post. Okay. Then let's do one more thing. So now we can kind of see that we can upload easily templates from the local, and it's still using the same data. So if I go and modify it to subtitle, it's of course modifying the same data as it was before. So if I now switch back, here is the subtitle written in here. If I switch back to the default, simply leaving only the group in there, it's exactly the same data that's fetching, so the subtitle is also written in here. So now we uploaded the template. Let's do one more thing. Let's download the data in. So it's the same structure here. I need to do the folder beforehand, and this is actually quite important because if you accidentally sync on this root and not that subfolder, it will wipe out the content in here. So let's make another one. Add sync folder. Demo connection was the connection name. Sync name I'll have a down data. Local full path will be that one. Remote folder will be the same. And note that uploading a dev will always prefix it as dev underscore, but downloading will take it directly from with the name. So sync type will be dev. Sync direction will be down. I believe that's it. Let's see. Yes, it says OK. Now let's try to sync that one as well. So it's the same command than before, but was it down data or data down? So we see down data appears to be. So now it's fetching, and it fetched the data in here. So we basically now have in the file system exactly the same kind of structure that in the cloud. What it means then from the WebStorm side is that when it's synced up, WebStorm has a few neat features. It has a built-in web server. So let's take first the group HTML, which is the default. If I peek from here, it's categories and content HTML, group HTML that's running on the ball side. I took it from here and open it in browser. And it's missing the content because could it be because of the navbar? Let's see. There is one hiccup sometimes with the WebStorm. Let's try to restart it. It doesn't realize sometimes that its data has changed. I'll try another template. So the navbar is a bit broken because our native template is allowed to access right now data outside the group. It's been removed since, but the navbar contains account name, and that's why it's not visible in any other template than what's out of the box from the group. Let's try again. Group HTML, open in browser. It's not opening for some reason. Nice demo effect. Let's try another one. I'll write in the blog post what's wrong with this one. I don't have right now time to separate first. Let's do this another one, just to prove out that this is actually exactly the same as the copy from in the group in the cloud. So this is now coming directly from the file system. If I still go on the ball side and I modify something like text content, let's see, let's go here, text content, my demo excerpt in here, save the changes. It should become visible here first, my demo excerpt. Then I sync again the data in. I get few parts in there. Text content changed, the collection changed, and the JSON file changed. Now I go back to the browser that's browsing the WebStorm version of the thing. I click the view on this part, and it's showing the my demo excerpt in here. Now let's do one more change in here. Let's change something. So we had the ball test, for instance, the ball tests. Let's just show how smooth it is to change the template that's running. Demo version. I save this file, run again the syncing up, which is just uploading one file. And now if I go back to here, dev.cut.con and my control panel first, was it underscore first HTML, I see exactly the changed version in here as well. So I'll write the blog post where I describe a bit more on the current saving parts of the postbacks, what kind of changes, what kind of save modes and data modes the platform supports. Just to give something while we are in this video, there is in assets folder, there is an OIP lib 1.0. That's a bit outdated version, but it has certain functions in it that allow the data fetching, for instance, be dynamic, as I've shown earlier in the control panel first. So there is actually, according asset file control panel.js, that contains few ways of registering and replacing templates, dust templates, for instance, and other ways to save the data in the platform. But I'll wrap up as soon as I can complete hello world getting started example. But I just wanted to really quickly show this off because few of the web developer teams are now piloting the thing, and I don't have time to craft them proper example before we already get hands-on with the current ones. So that's why you get a half-assed demo right now. Thanks for watching, and drop me an email if you want to pilot and you are not alongside with our pilots so far.